Hi everyone, it's been a while since I last posted a video, so I wanted to give you a bit of an update on where things are at, some changes I'll be making, some reflections on what making YouTube videos has taught me about myself and why I'm a terrible businessman, and what's coming next. For the most part, things are going well. Life has just been busy over the last 12 months. The title of my notes for this video was Happy New Year 2025 because that's when I initially wrote it, and now we're closer to 2026. And there's no one thing, just various life stuff like my day job being busy, spare time taken up by work needed on our house, and after a season of rough weather, some minor flooding of this downstairs area where I normally film. However, one thing that I have been working on is updating the written version of my mobile robot build series on my website for ROS2 Jazzy. I know that many of you, like me, actually prefer written content for tutorials so that you can more easily go back and forth and find things you've forgotten and copy and paste, but it takes more time to prepare, at least if you want to do it well. And so after about halfway through the original series, I stopped doing the written companion pieces. Well, now that it's almost 4 years later and my original Foxy tutorials are getting pretty dated, the other benefit of written content shines through, which is that I can change it. So I've been trying to go through and make sure that there's written content to go along with every video that's fully up to date and works on Jazzy with the new gazebo. I've also taken this opportunity to improve the reading experience. For example, the current website has these awkward block code embeds and the snippets aren't very clear exactly where they should go. Whereas if you head over to the beta site, you can see that any code you're meant to be adding to your own project is clearly marked with which files and the context. It'll be a little while until these are all finished and ready to share on the main site, hopefully by the end of this year. But in the meantime, if you're getting stuck on the old tutorials, you should try these ones. I'm really happy with how they're coming together. I had 3 or 4 other videos last year that I started but ended up scrapping for various reasons, one of which was a partnership with a business. And that brings me to my next topic, which is learning that I'm a terrible businessman. It doesn't take too long on YouTube before you start getting opportunities to do content that is sponsored in some way or other. And like many others, I've partnered with PCBWay. They've been fantastic to deal with, but what I've discovered is that when I do a non-sponsored video and it performs poorly, I feel bad for myself and then I get on with my life. But if a sponsored video at a flat rate does poorly, I just get this sense of guilt for not holding up my end of the bargain. And it's not like they're paying me a whole lot and there's no complaint from them about it. They're always asking, when can I do another video? I know it's all in my head, but at some point I just stopped invoicing them because that took away the guilt and gave me the headspace to actually make the videos. And there are 3 other videos I've had in the pipeline for some time now that are integrations with different companies that I am 100% keen to do, but the stress of doing a bad job just turns me off and I end up doing nothing at all. Ridiculous, I know, but there it is. But working with companies is actually pretty good because the terms are at least somewhat defined and there's a conversation there. What I've really struggled with is Patreon. I want to start this section by saying that I am so thankful to all the people who have supported and are supporting this channel through Patreon at different tier levels. If I was ever going to be able to turn this into something bigger, it would be through you guys. I'm really encouraged by people's willingness to give me money for something that they can get for free so that others can have it too. It's not quit my job money, but it makes a huge difference to the time and resources I can put into this stuff, taking the occasional day off work and so on. But it's started to have the opposite effect. You see, for me at least, the Patreon relationship has been predominantly a one-way conversation. I'm producing content and people are giving me money. Yes, we chat in the comments and over on Discord, but for the most part, I'm just putting this stuff out there into the world and a bunch of you wonderful people give me some money because you think it's helpful and useful. And so when I'm not producing content, I start to feel guilty. And I know you can set up Patreon to be per piece or to pause people's payments, but those come with their own complications. So every month people are paying me, but as soon as I start to slip behind a little bit in making videos or in replying to the endless stream of messages asking for help on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, GitHub, Patreon, Discord, and Discourse, more on them soon, I just feel increasingly guilty and overwhelmed, which again turns me off working on things and becomes a vicious cycle until I shut down completely. All I'm trying to do is to help people learn and to justify spending a fairly substantial amount of my time to do so, but It's all become a bit too much. Really, it's all about the lack of clarity around expectations that comes with running a content creation business. And it turns out that I, like many of you I'm sure, have a pretty low tolerance for ambiguity. The good news is I have a plan to move forward. The first step is to fix the Patreon situation. I won't get rid of it completely. If people want to give me money through there, I'm not going to complain, but I'll restructure it to have clearer expectations. Instead, I'll probably push harder with Ko-fi, which allows one-off transactions. I've actually had it for longer than Patreon, but I haven't really advertised it very much. And that way I can encourage people to give money based on the past with no expectations for the future. I've heard so many people say, I couldn't have got through my degree without your videos, or the things you've taught me have landed my dream job. And so if you're one of those people, I'd ask you to consider contributing something back if you're able and you haven't already. I probably won't make as much this way, but hopefully it will be more sustainable. Ko-fi also links in with Discord, which is convenient, and I think you can get it to keep someone in there permanently, which is something I never managed with Patreon. Editing Josh here. At this point I started complaining that Patreon kicks people out when they stop supporting, but I don't know where I got that idea from. Everyone who ever supported is still in the server as far as I can tell, which is great. I want you all there. If for some reason you aren't, then let me know. This applies similarly to the Discourse forum. The idea was that anyone can make an account and comment, but only people who'd been a patron could post new topics. Unfortunately, those privileges weren't automatic and required some tedious admin from my end, which inevitably didn't occur and surprise, surprise, left me feeling guilty about it all. I would probably get rid of it completely, except that it also serves as the comment section for the relevant pages on my website, and I like having a permanent location that I've got control over where people can leave their thoughts. So the plan here is, if you are currently or have ever been a patron and you want to be in the Discord, send an email to articulatedrobotics@gmail.com. I don't usually check that account, but I'll set aside an afternoon to go through the list and add people manually. If you want Discourse too, let me know and I can add you there. If you haven't been a patron and you want to join the Discord, head over to Ko-fi with the link in the description and there'll be clear instructions there. If you want to post new topics on Discourse, I'm going to change the settings so that it's auto-moderated, where you need to have a certain number of replies, etc. to existing topics before you automatically get topic creation privileges. The other thing I'm considering for patrons is to have a permanent credits section on the website for anyone who has supported at a tier that had video credits. My issues here are that some people might not want to be on the website permanently, how to handle new people who'd like to be on there, and how to recognize people who have provided a huge amount of support at lower tiers. Again, lots of choices and I don't love the ambiguity. If you've got any ideas of what I should do, let me know. With all that done, my plan will be to keep making content at a pace that works for me, slowly working my way through my enormous list of video ideas, and taking on sponsored videos if and when that works for me, and only if I think they'll be genuinely helpful for you. I'll finish updating those written tutorials, and once I'm done, I'll make a video covering all the important changes for Jazzy. I'd also like to finish my series on transformation matrices, and I really want to do more of that theory stuff. That's actually what I enjoy the most, taking some of the trickier aspects of the mathematics that underlies robotics and trying to figure out how to make that more understandable and accessible. I have some other half-baked videos that I'd like to get done before moving on to new things, but if there are topics that you think would be helpful, please do let me know down in the comments. The other thing I'm looking forward to is RosCon next month. It was great to meet some of you at the one 2 years ago that I got along to, but my apologies if I was rude because I was really not feeling well that week and struggled to get out of my hotel room, let alone have conversations in loud rooms. But fingers crossed, my health is better this year and I'm looking forward to catching up with people. Thank you so much for watching my channel, for sticking it out through this video, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do together from here on. I'll catch you next time.